season is a little.
Live from Charlotte at the home of the Hornets, we're broadcasting from the Time Warner Cable Arena. Well, what better way to spend a Monday night than with the 2K Sports team and the NBA? Welcome, everyone. This is Kevin Harlan to call the game with our analysts Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. You look at the Pelicans. Well, it's been an improvement this year over last season. They made a lot of adjustments, and happy to see that they translate into some tangible results.
This is a special matchup. I mean, we got here tonight. Two rival franchises, a lot of history between the two, and some bad blood. So let's just see how all this adds up in terms of drama.
And guys, I think if you ask them, as far as they're concerned, this game counts twice in the standings. I mean, it carries that kind of weight. It really holds that kind of significance for both of them.
We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. So the Pelican 5 right now. Gordon and Pondexter are the wingmen. Davis and Asik in the middle. And it's Holiday in at the 1. And he gets it to go. Jefferson's got his first 2 points.
And with the way the Warriors went on a rampage last year, you knew that Alvin Gentry would be in demand. Was the architect behind the Warriors' offense, is one of the best offensive minds in our league.
Shot by Gordon, wide open. Wide open shot is on the money.
Wow, he was just wide open there. That's way too easy.
Walker dishes to Lynn. About a minute and a half through the first quarter. Screen by Jefferson. Walker against Holiday. Clock at 4. Here's Lynn. Again, the Hornets score. And with Gentry, his offensive prowess can't be understated, Greg. His peers joke and say he can draw up an open look for a corpse. I don't know about that, Clark, but we know he's talented. He's got a great offensive mind.
And you know that's right. And with this Pelicans team, he has plenty of firepower to work with, too.
Oh, he does. You're right. Guys, you want to talk about one tough guy? How about the Turkish hammer, Asik? Tremendous rebounder, a space eater in the paint, so long.
That's a great way to describe him, Kevin. Last year he finished 4th in the league in rebounds per minute. Plus he's always lurking as a shot blocker.
He is.
And, you know, going back to Asik, I mean, he's not just a big, immobile guy. I mean, he's got really good flexibility, and that's helped him develop some post moves at the offensive end. He's no longer Mr. Dunk or nothing.
Now here's Lynn. He's coming off a 13-point game against Sacramento. An easy layup after coming off the pick.
4 straight makes out of the gate. That's a sweet start.
And going back to Amir Asik's toughness, you can see it in his face. I mean, he's not going to smile at you. He's not going to show you any expression at all. Just a cold-blooded monster on the floor.
That's good.
And the offense, I mean, 3 of 4, a solid start for this game.
The Hornets have gone 4 of 4 to start, so a nice offensive rhythm to start here. Holiday against Walker. Kid Gilchrist the pass to Jefferson. Goes up on the block. Again, the Hornets score.
Defense just not strong enough to throw him off his shot there. Sometimes it takes a little more effort to defend him down low.
And Holiday kicks to Gordon. Pass to Holiday. Feeds it to Asik. Outside Gordon. That 3 off the mark. Hornets leading by 3. Outside, Walker. Fires from deep. Asik comes up with the rebound. For New Orleans, they've gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Gordon dishes to Davis. Passes it to Pondexter. Screen by Asik. Pondexter kicks to Gordon. Gordon with another miss. For Charlotte, they've gone 5 of 6 so far from the field to start out the game. Walker the pass to Lynn. The shot's good on the assist by Walker. And it's 7 points here for Lynn.
They've got themselves in front with some outstanding shooting right off the bat.
It's been a complete technical dominant performance out here. They are in a zone.
And Asik kicks to Gordon. Screen by Asik. Davis with a screen on Lynn, and it's Gordon penetrating. The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way. Gordon's got his second basket of the game. Walker against Holiday. Walker dishes to Lynn. And he uses the glass on the layup. Lynn's got 9.
That's his 4th straight make right out the chute. He's setting a pretty high standard for himself here.
Just like you draw it up before you come out.
Asik no good.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
And Charlotte's defense, it didn't really start out incredible last season, but over the course of the year, they climbed the ranks, and by the end of the year, they were a force. And Anthony Davis, growing up in the rough south side of Chicago, because of the violence, his father didn't let him venture to the playground. Instead, he built a basketball court in the backyard. This young man has come a long way.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hornets. And Davis stayed around the game in grade school. He'd keep the clock, sell the tickets, even someone said sell nachos.
Humble beginnings, partner, humble beginnings. Didn't even dream of NBA stardom. Said he wanted to be a high school coach. Obviously, things have changed now.
Here's what Charlotte's going with right now. Kaminsky, he's checked in for Batum. And it's Lamb in there for Walker. And then for New Orleans, Alexis Ajinça has checked in for Asik. Anderson comes in for Quincy Pondexter. And Tyreke Evans subbed in for Gordon. Now here is Holiday, following the miss by Al Jefferson. And there's a whistle that goes on Jeremy Lin. That's his first foul. Last year, the Pelicans, Greg, pushed their way into the postseason. It was a neck-and-neck battle for that number 8 spot, as you recall, with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
And how about the excitement down the stretch? And they were able to edge out the Thunder and Russell Westbrook on that just point binge down the stretch there. And what a final day that was. A big, huge win over the Spurs let them get into the postseason for the first time under the Pelican moniker.
Now, here's Ajinça, following the miss by Al Jefferson. Evans outside. And it's off from three-point range. Hornets leading by 4.
And as you said, I mean, New Orleans made the playoffs for the first time under the name Pelicans. Unfortunately for them, they ran into the Warriors in the first round and were promptly swept away.
Now Evans, after Jeremy Lin's three-pointer that didn't go. And again, no good by New Orleans. Charlotte moving it around. Lamb passes to Jefferson. Lynn against Holiday. Right side Lynn, and Jefferson throws it down.
Well, he's an undersized center, but he more than makes up for it with some serious leaping ability.
Pelicans trail by 6.
And thinking back to the Pelicans playoffs from last year, let a 20-point lead slip away in that fourth quarter of Game 3. But they played better than a sweep and got valuable postseason experience for that young roster.
Now here's Evans, looking for his first basket still in this one. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Last season was possibly the best of Tyreke Evans' career, at least since his unbelievable rookie campaign.
Yeah, and Kev, a lot of that has to do with his injury history. I mean, last year he played in 79 games. That's the most of his career. So you could say it was probably the healthiest season he's had since he was a rookie.
Williams, he's checked in for Al Jefferson. That one misses.
You know, I thought Charlotte went to their bench as much as most other teams last season. Those guys ate up time for the starters, but weren't nearly efficient scoring the ball as you might want them to be.
And right from the start, Kevin, they've been pounding the glass. Most of those 50-50 balls also going their way.
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. They came focused and ready to play. I mean, they're doing everything they can to put things in their favor. You earn that, and they're actually earning it well right now.
Now here is Holiday. He's coming off a 19-point game against Washington.
And he also was a table setter in that game, Kevin. Just an amazing job with his passing. Just a joy to watch that one.
For the Hornets last season, their bench was weak at times. They just couldn't really score that well.
And the Hornets bench was the only bench to shoot under 40% from the floor for the season.
And the basket by Kaminsky.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Now here's Evans. 9 points last game out. Davis sets a screen. Anderson kicks to Ajinça. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
Kaminsky sets the pick for Lynn. The shot by Kaminsky. Nobody around. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good.
That's leadership. Really, really valuable to have someone who can just take charge like he has.
Well, there's a certain amount of confidence you have when the ball is in his hands at that end of the floor right now. I mean, he just gives you a sense of calm and confidence because of how good he is.
It's rebounded by New Orleans, and this is the first time matched up with the Hornets this season.
And just couldn't make the most of their meetings last year. Ended up splitting the season series.
Yeah, you know, most teams have games where they wish they could get a mulligan or take it back. Well, last year, their one loss in this series was one I know they wanted back.
Here's Lamb after Drew Holiday's score. Outside, Kid Gilchrist. With his first shot attempt. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two. And when you think of Kid Gilchrist, one thing that comes to mind is intangibles. He has a desire and intensity and will to win that elevates him to elite status.
Yeah, you know, he never will be a great shooter, and he's still working on his jump shot. But the intangibles, you talked about it, you add heart and tenacity to that. Every team wants a guy like that.
Perkins, he's checked in for New Orleans. Norris Cole comes in for Drew Holiday. Cole dishes to Davis. Good D by Williams.
And being that close to the hoop, I thought he had enough room to finish that one.
The rebound by Anderson.
You rarely see him missing dunks, but the defender was right in his face on that one, and it threw him off just enough.
Evans against Williams. And that's Evans penetrating, and it's in after a nice bounce off the right side.
And both teams on fire from the opening tip.
Well, I don't doubt it, Greg. We're going to have an entertaining game of basketball here today. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that's the case.
Here's Lynn. No good on the buzzer beater. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Hornets lead by. By 4. And Jeremy Lin, a player who's come a long way in his time in this league from going undrafted out of home.
I wasn't sure, you know, if my career would ever pan out the way I was hoping for, or if I would be able to stay in the NBA. And so for me to be here playing, to be able to know I'm going to play in the game, in an NBA game, it's just, it's pretty cool.
Well, in a game filled with some pretty big egos, there are also